Okay, welcome back to another discussion about WLSWiki pages and how we are continuing to learn what we can do with the various tools we have to build the site. I am Larissa, and this time we're going to talk about discussion, this little known tab next to the main page tab of any page in WLSWiki. And the discussion page really isn't all that much different than the main page. You edit it and display it in exactly the same way. But the difference is, rather than actually displaying the main information, we're going to discuss how we're going to display the information. For instance, okay, so I created this medical tourism, but in general, it is spoken as for a wide and general audience, and I really would like to tighten it up to speak to the weight loss surgery person in particular, and I'd like to get some information that would really help the weight loss surgery patient. So I would go over to the discussion page, and it's always good to start a discussion with a heading with your question, and you're going to format this exactly like you would any other page. For a lot of people that are used to forums where you're used to creating a thread, this might be a little disconcerting at first, and certainly this might take some getting used to. And if you don't format it in this way, it's not going to hurt anything. If you just happen to just type your question in there, not going to hurt anything. But to make it easier on the people who would come back and continue the discussion about the page with you, it's always helpful to start the discussion with a headline, with a subheading, so that it can be separate from other questions or discussions about the same page. So in this particular one, I would like to invite people, let's say I want to say, I would like to help gearing this page towards the WLS patient. And so I would just come in here and I would like to say, if anyone has articles or knowledge about a country or location, etc., to share, I'd like to narrow the focus of this article. It's that simple. I started a discussion, and this is another important thing. After adding to the discussion, I want to add a signature because no one's going to have any idea who um, either started the discussion or continued the discussion. And to do so, there's actually a signature button right here that will add your signature and timestamp. And if you go back into Help, there is also a place where it discusses how you can actually create a custom signature. In this case, for me, the standard signature is absolutely fine. It puts my name and a date and timestamp. That's all I need. So I'm going to click that, and well, that's odd. Look at that. I've got a couple of dashes and some tildes. Well, that's wiki formatting for you. It actually looks like nothing now, but let's go ahead and save the page. Like I said, this is absolutely no different than saving a normal page. It's just the discussion page. Now look at this. So there's my name and the timestamp and the date stamp, and I've got a nice heading here to start my question or discussion in this case. And I've started it. Now, someone who wanted to answer me would come along and hit edit. They can either hit edit here or hit edit here. And they would be able to come in and they would just start a new line and they would type their answer and hit time and date stamp and whatnot, and they could continue the conversation. If they really wanted to get fancy, they could indent their answer and continue it looking like a normal thread. Someone who wanted to ask a completely different question could use a different heading to create a whole different question, etc., etc., etc. So this is how people can discuss vandalism, discuss the content. Perhaps someone thinks that there's slanted material on the page. Perhaps they feel like there is too much material and it needs to be split up into 2 pages. Perhaps we feel that 2 pages should be combined. Anytime we feel like um, some significant changes should be made on a page, or we need help with changes on a page, we would go into the discussion tab to discuss it with other people first and invite um, comments from the WLSWiki community at large before making those changes ourselves on the main page. Now, this, like I said, this would be for something that perhaps would be controversial or beyond the scope of your abilities, not for something that you feel that you could just jump in with 2 feet and make the changes yourself, because those are certainly, you do not need permission for. If you've got the information, by golly, you go in there and do it. Discussion is whenever you're in doubt, you can go ahead and discuss it, but certainly you don't need anybody's permission to edit a page. And that is why we have the discussion.